Okay, everyone, we are going to talk about regular adjectives today en français. Regular adjectives themselves are actually pretty easy. It just is a little bit unintuitive. So we're going to start with the regular ones, and then as we move along, we'll look at some different ones and just kind of take it step by step. So this one is just going to be about regular adjectives, and then we'll do an irregular one when we continue with this series. So regular adjectives, most of them have a masculine form, which we also call a dictionary form, and a feminine form. So if you look up the word in a dictionary, you're going to see the masculine form. So basically, we have to change it to the feminine form. Usually, the only thing you have to do is to make it feminine is just add an E to the masculine. And in order to make it plural, you just add an S. Okay, so if you look at the table at the bottom, you'll see the masculine form is petit, and then the plural is petit, pronounced the same, but you have an S. The feminine, you have to add an E to it, okay? So we have petite. Now notice that it changes the pronunciation. That's why it's so important to remember to use the feminine form, because it changes the pronunciation. You don't hear the E because the E with no accent in French has no sound, but you get to hear the letter that comes before it. That's the purpose of it, okay? So petit becomes petite. Just like the masculine plural, the feminine plural doesn't sound any differently from the regular feminine form because the S at the end of the word is never pronounced in French. So petit, petit, petite, petite, but we still have to write it. If the adjective ends with an E, you don't add an extra E in the feminine. So il est égoïste and elle est égoïste. Now, the exception to this is when you have an accent on the E. When an accent is on the E, then you do have to add an additional E in the feminine. Here are some regular adjectives. You have the masculine, which you would find in the dictionary on the left side, and the feminine on the right side. Listen to the difference in pronunciation. Petit, petite. Grand, grande. Amusant, amusante. Intéressant, intéressante. Intelligent, intelligente. Court, courte. Fatigué, fatigué. You'll notice the last one has no difference in pronunciation because we're pronouncing the A on the E at the end because of the accent. And that extra E doesn't matter. I mean, it matters to write it, but it doesn't matter to pronounce it. Other regular adjectives do follow a pattern. They kind of look irregular, but they're really not. So if it's EUX in the masculine, it's going to be EUSC in the feminine. And if you want to make it plural, you don't add an S to the X. Okay, the masculine stays the same whether it's singular or plural, but the feminine is going to add an S to the euse. Okay, so furieux becomes furieuse, paresseux becomes paresseuse, curieux becomes curieuse. And in each one of those cases, if you wanted to make it plural, you would add an S to the feminine, but you would not do anything with the masculine form. Okay, let's practice. Il est très, and then we have the adjective intelligent. Il est très what? Does it change? Does the pronunciation change? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Il est très intelligent. There is no change because it's masculine. Elle est fatiguée. Would we change it? Does it change pronunciation? What do we do? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you need to pause me, of course you can. Elle est fatiguée. No pronunciation difference, but we have to have that extra E. Tu es, we don't know if tu and je are male or female, so that's why I put female in here. So tu es petit. Do we change it? If so, how? Does it make any difference with pronunciation? Tu es petite, because it's female, we have to add an E. Je suis, and this would be a male speaking, and we have intéressant. Do we change it? If so, how? Je suis intéressant. Same thing because again it's masculine. Okay, elles sont, and then we have amusant. Do we change anything? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Elles sont amusantes. So we hear the T. We have to add an ES because it's feminine and it's plural. Nous sommes, we have cours, and we say it's masculine. Do we have to change anything? And if so, does it make a difference in pronunciation? Nous sommes cours. It does not make any difference in the pronunciation, and we do have to add one thing, and that's the S. And because the S is not pronounced at the end, we don't change the pronunciation. Ils sont, and we have the verb or the adjective égoïste. What do we do here? Think, think, think. Ils sont égoïstes. Same pronunciation, but we have to have the S at the end. Nous sommes, and then we have curieux, and we have the feminine. So what do we have to do here, if anything, and does it change the pronunciation? Nous sommes curieuses. It does change the pronunciation because the EUX becomes EUSE, and because it's plural, we have to add the S. All right, next practice. We had a whole thing on vous because vous can basically take 4 forms, okay? So vous êtes, and we have the adjective paresseux, we have masculine and singular. Does it change? If it does it change pronunciation? Vous êtes paresseux. It doesn't change, and it doesn't change the pronunciation because it's masculine singular. Vous êtes, and we have heureux, and then we have feminine, and we have the singular. So does it change? And if it does change, does it change the pronunciation? Think, think, think. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vous êtes heureuse. It does have a different sound at the end. The EUX becomes an EUSC for the feminine. Vous êtes, and we have amusant, masculine or mixed plural. That means it can be masculine or feminine. And unfortunately, guys have to share. So either way, what do? Do we change it? Different pronunciation, same thing. Think, think, think. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vous êtes amusant has no pronunciation change, but it does add an S at the end. Okay, last one. Vous êtes, and we have grand, feminine, and plural. Okay, so does it change the pronunciation? Does it change its form? Think, think, think. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vous êtes grande. You hear the difference in the pronunciation. Vous êtes grande. And then, of course, you have the E and the S, neither of which are pronounced, but it's letting me pronounce the D. Okay, so let's talk really quickly about adjective placement. Most adjectives go after the noun they describe. So, une fille intelligente, it'd be like saying a girl smart. I know we say a smart girl, which makes us unintuitive, but that's the way most of the adjectives are. There are some exceptions, and the exceptions are bangs. And why do we call them bangs? We'll look at that in just a second. But that's the way to remember which ones go before the noun. In this case, une jolie fille. And I'm going to show you what bangs is. It's beauty, age, goodness, numbers, size. So beauty, maybe beau, joli, also moche, laid. Age is nouveau, vieux. Goodness, bon, mauvais. Numbers, which 1 through gazillion. Size, petit, grand. So these are the typical ones that are going to go before the adjective. And there are some exceptions. This is the rule, but there's always an exception floating out there. Une jupe courte would be a short skirt. So other than that, most of the time these work. So let's practice. Okay, marquer un what? Where does grand go? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Marquer un grand homme. Un grand homme. Okay, because it's one of those bangs words. It's the size. Julie est une femme. The word is jolie. Beauty, age, goodness, or size. You got it. Julie est une jolie femme. Beauty. Je suis une femme is amusant, beauty, age, goodness, or size. Je suis une femme amusante. The answer is no, it's not. So it has to go after the thing it's describing. Because it's feminine, it's une femme, clearly. So it's feminine, so we have to put the E on amusante so we can hear that T. Tu es un élève or une élève. Either case, where does intelligent go? Tu es un élève intelligent or tu es une élève intelligente because it's not beauty, age, goodness, size, or numbers. All right, a little bit more practice. J'ai des tables. Okay, you haven't gotten to the irregular adjectives yet. We'll do that in a different one. So, j'ai des tables. What are we going to do with vieille? Vieille is old. J'ai de vieilles tables. Okay, because it's age, beauty, age, goodness, numbers, size, and it is age. Now, it's not a mistake that I put the de instead of des there. Whenever you have des and you have a plural adjective that goes in front of the noun, the S drops off. Go figure. Nous avons une voiture. And then we have the adjective rouge. What would we do here? Is it beauty, age, goodness, or size, or numbers? Nope. Nous avons une voiture rouge. Goes after the noun. Il y a des garçons. And we have beau. That's the plural form of B-E-A-U. Beau. Okay. Beauty, age, goodness, or size? Got it. Il a de beaux garçons. Okay, and again, you see that S dropped off because of the adjective, the plural adjective. Vous avez des sandwichs. And we have délicieux. So what do you think here? Is it beauty, age, goodness, or size? All right. Some of you might argue goodness, but it doesn't work. Vous avez des sandwichs délicieux. Okay, I hope this helped you with your regular adjectives. Feel free to make any commentary you might want in the comments, and I hopefully will be able to get back to you. Thanks for listening and watching.